What kind of instruction do they get now when we talk about security operatives or security agents? Remember, leading up to these elections, when they said about 3,500 soldiers will be deployed to Edo, there were complaints. The instance, let's say in the past, where we've seen maybe some agencies being accused of being used to manipulate the process, does that mean that they actually got that instruction from their heads?
Chairman, this is a third world country. And I want to agree, Maokwe is the heroine of body language. She's the one who talks about body language. You see, in a third world in a third world country, people have not really risen to the people in offices, not just security people, have not risen to the extent of being able to carry out their duty according to the dictates of that office. They still kind of look at the leader and say, what is his attitude? If they feel that the man may not be too happy about, if they're too high-handed, they will be softened. But obviously, from what we have seen, the soldiers, the SSS, the police, I was not there when they were briefed, but it is obvious that their brief was that, look, you go and maintain law and order, no matter whose horse is God. Do not give support to any side. Be non-partisan. Ensure votes are protected. Ensure that voters are secured and that correct results are announced. That's over. Even Adams Oshimole said that himself. He said when the said soldiers were coming, his people were apprehensive. But he said, well, I trusted this gentleman that, he will do what he says he will do. And he's correct. That is exactly what the president did. And I cannot tire of saying that, this is a defining moment in our democracy. Because it goes beyond Edo State. Everybody now knows that, look, if you now have an election in a Enugu State, for instance, the commissioner of police, irrespective of what the governor wants to do, he will say, no, this is my job. I must maintain law and order. I must not be partisan. It has been done before.
Tell us what you know about this, because just a month before that particular election, in June specifically, the essay to the president on inter-party affairs, Senator Ben Obi, I'll give you a quote of what he said. He said, when I noticed the tension mounting in Edo State over the July governorship election, I thought it appropriate for us to persuade the president to create a forum where the stakeholders and political parties involved in the election would talk. So it means that there was some kind of a meeting with all the stakeholders in that election.
He was suggesting that they should talk. I'm not sure that ever happened. There's no, you see, people tell you that Jonathan is weak. Do you understand? And he doesn't act and all that. But the man is his style appears to be something different from what Nigerians really, know their leaders to be. Jonathan does not engage in talking, he takes his time to study a situation. He takes a reasonable and a responsible decision, and then he acts upon it. As it occurred to Ben Obi, it occurred to me, it occurred to the president, it occurred to everybody. And obviously, in retrospect, I didn't discuss this with the president, I've not spoken to him about this election, but I'm sure in retrospect, he had seen that, okay, he has sat down with the security people that I want this election to be free and to be fair. All right, forget that I'm PDP or I'm president, what are we going to do? So, I'm sure they did not just arrive at 3,600 soldiers like that. They must have looked at the whole state. How do we cover it? What do we do?
Do you think your party is happy with this development? We still have to go back to that, because knowing full well that Edo State, for instance,
I would be pretentious.
A moment here, because you talked about Edo State, you were trying to paint a picture of the caliber of persons in the PDP in Edo State, and the Chief of Staff to the President, Mr. Ogiadome, is from Edo State.
Chief Anini, one of the closest and one of the strongest allies of the President.
Do you think they'll be happy with the President knowing full well that they have lost, and now people say, well,
what are you talking about?
Stronghold.
Why are you talking about Anini and why are you talking about Anini and Ogiadome, who are not here? Why not talk about me here? I am an avowed supporter.
Because you're not from Edo State, so
no,
you don't know how it is.
We want as many governors as possible to maintain our lead and to maintain, our structure in the country. I really truly wish. I mean, General Charles is a personal friend of mine. I spoke to him. I even prayed with him on phone the day before the election. Obviously, God did not hear our prayer. I prayed with him. Well, what I'm trying to tell you is that, the President has just moved out of the park. And that is what he's supposed to do. I am not President. Nobody has voted me for President. Maybe if you vote me for President, then I will begin to look and try to behave like Jonathan. But what Jonathan has done is to move out of the park and to say, look, if somebody has to pay the price for leadership in this country, I am going to do it.
But some people
He has hurt us. He has hurt, we are not... we are not happy, but we're not blaming him.
The PDP
we are happy for it because
the PDP is not happy with the President, or the PDP is not happy with the people of Edo State. Which one?
No. None of the above. We are not happy at the outcome of the election. We wish we won. That's the truth.
Well, the only way you would have won is if the people of Edo State voted for you.
Yeah, so they didn't vote for us, and we regret that. We feel sad about it because we thought they will. I mean, Adams Oshimole has done fairly well, but he's not. He's not the best governor in Nigeria. So he has his own lapses and things. But we campaigned, but it didn't work.
Some people have also said that it's because also that the President had some tacit support for the comrade governor.
That is not true. This president,
there is no tacit support, because we also saw that the governor of Edo State was one of the very few people who spoke during the fuel subsidy campaign when the federal government was embarking on plans to remove fuel subsidy. Some people say it's payback time.
I don't think so. If it is payback time, what we will have seen will have been a preponderance of support of security and machinery on ground in favor of Oshimole. No. What the president has done is that, look, Edo State, Oshimole, Charles, etc., talk to your people. What I'm going to make sure is that I will create a level playing field. If you say that by creating a level playing field is a payback, well, so let it be. Let us be able to create a level playing field in every sphere of our lives.
Because there is still some
polity.
The reason why this is important is because there is still some criticism trailing the conduct of the elections in Bayelsa State. Some people say that the level playing field wasn't there.
I don't think so. I don't. That is correct.
You don't agree?
I don't agree. Because you see, you must understand, that Bayelsa State is a special case. That is where the president comes from. And honestly speaking, in retrospect now, I didn't know Dixon before, but I'm glad he's the one who became the governor of Bayelsa, because presently, if you listen to the gentleman, he's talking rightly, he's doing what is correct, he's brought probity and all that. Maybe the president and the leaders of Bayelsa have seen that in him prior to that time, and a matter of just, people knowing that, our leaders want this person and they support him. So I don't think that has anything to do with Edo State. I don't think so.
But would you say that the situation surrounding both of them were the same?
They are very, very different.
They are very different.
Very, very different. Here is an opposition state. Here is a president who is commander-in-chief, who has all the powers. He has all the powers and he has the resource if he has to, and he can pull people, all right, to do things that will have thwarted the will of the people of Edo State. But he has responsibly refused to act in that line. He has responsibly refused to back even his own allies. He has responsibly refused to use his own, the powers of his office in favor of his party. He has responsibly subjudicated his own personal
could the
interest.
president, I mean, considering how popular this candidate was, could the president have afforded to do otherwise? Because some people say that the protests...
Is it the first time you are seeing a popular candidate lose election?
But some people have said that, you know, if they had gone the other way, that the same crowd we saw rejoicing would have been the same crowd, you know, causing the protest and, you know, possibly setting the state on fire.
You can set the state on fire. You can do whatever you want to do. What happens? What does the law say? The law says you go to tribunal. Is that not it? So you go to tribunal. Do you understand? In the meantime, the man who has won the election illegally continues in office. You know, you go to tribunal, you go to appeal court, you go to something, and after about 3 or 4 years, maybe they say, oh yeah, the man has lost. So this, the president has saved us all that. For instance, we talk about judiciary, we talk about corruption in the judiciary and all that. Where will if you are a tribunal judge now, then where can you be corrupt? Because no case is coming to you. Everybody has accepted that Oshomole has won this election, so there are no tribunals. So this is the most essential thing that that should percolate down. That the leadership had stood firm on the path of justice, on the path of the rule of law, on the path of support for the people's wishes, and because of that, we have saved ourselves a lot of problems, and we have established. This is what I want us to understand here. We have established a pattern. That look, from now on,
we're really out of time. This same pattern we've established, are we likely to see it in Ondo State?
I am sure it's the same president. I am sure it will happen. I am very, very sure that it is the candidate that that is most preferred by the Ondo people that will come on top.